Going to go ahead and call the Tuesday, December 1st, 2020 meeting of the Oldsmar City Council to order. Before we do so, before we move on to the agenda, I'm going to first mention that we are practicing the CDC guidelines today, and we ask everyone to keep their face mask on. Unless you're up at a microphone speaking, then you can remove it if you'd like. You could leave it on if you so wish to. We want to keep everyone safe, okay? And before we get into the next part of the agenda, the chair is going to entertain a motion to suspend the rules of the day for the purpose of allowing Councilmember Knapp to attend by phone and also to move item 12 up before the community minute.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a motion and a second. All right. Any discussions? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Motion passes. So I will entertain a motion to approve Councilmember Knapp to attend our meeting tonight by phone due to health reasons, and also to move item 12 before the community minute.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any discussions? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to return to the rules of the day.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, next two items on the agenda. There you go. There you go. Councilman Knapp, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that? I apologize. I meant to give you a moment to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, as many people may have already known, that I did test positive for COVID. Excuse me. And we're all doing better here in the Knapp household. Last week was a pretty rough week, but Thanksgiving wasn't the best. But we are feeling better, and my plan is to try to get a test tomorrow and hopefully wind up negative. But I would just ask that if at any time I need to speak a little bit tonight, if you just give me a moment, because if I don't talk too fast, then I don't cough so much. So, but yeah, everything is good here, and I'm just thankful that did not spread it amongst any of the other council members or anyone else in attendance at the last meeting, because I started feeling bad later that week. But yeah, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilman. And we appreciate, just so you know, I mean, we've all kind of run into this, but we've come exposed to someone, and we immediately communicate with everyone. And those who have any kind of symptoms will go and get tested and stay away from City Hall. And it's really prevented kind of any major breakout over here for us. So we certainly appreciate Councilman Knapp, and I talked to him today, and he told me, he said, if I talk too much, I have to stop. I can't cough. I start coughing. I just can't talk too much. And I said, not that I want anybody to have that, but there are a lot of people that I wish did have that, where they talk too much. Anyhow, all right. Next two items on the agenda is the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask. Please rise.
Our Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you to ask for divine guidance and help in our deliberations at this meeting. Bless the members of the council and the citizens that are present. We pray that our work this evening will find favor in your sight. This we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Next item on the agenda is a citizens' open forum. We only have one public hearing item tonight, which is item number 9. So here's the way it works. You can speak about anything you wish to, except for any of the public hearings, because you'll have an opportunity at that time. You have 5 minutes to speak, and we ask that you give your name and address. Please include your city. We don't want to assume you're here from our beautiful city. Is there anybody on this side of the room who wishes to address the council? Seeing none, anybody on this side of the room? Suda.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Suda Yanis Cologne, 402 Arlington Avenue East, Oldsmar, Florida, 34677. I want to, as many of you know, I wear many hats. Opal Theater Director, which has seen some great growth recently, and of course, Miss Suda's Dancers. Well, Miss Suda's Dancers has a show coming up on the 12th. And Baloo is here to tell you about our show coming up on December 12th. Our show this year is entitled Dancing Through 2020. All around the letters, it says things like hand sanitizing, Broadway closed, stay strong, postponed recitals, Zoom classes, COVID, stay home, face masks, virtual dance, quarantine, and even a pandemic cannot stop us from dancing.
There you go.
So we have our recital coming up. We've actually combined, this is unprecedented this year with all the unprecedented things that are going on. We could not do our May recital. We could not do our summer recital. So we have combined them all together for a big December show. With that, we have our May recital called The Swinging 60s, which includes The Jungle Book, a mini production of The Jungle Book with Baloo and Bagheera and Mowgli and all their friends. Then we have Summer Dancin', which was our summer recital of the kids that did. We had some kids in all shows, some kids that came in later. And we have our Holiday Dance Showcase for December. So these are all going to be wrapped up, and that is on Saturday, December 12th at the Elizabeth Smith Amphitheater stage. For those that don't know, that is the stage down at Orioles Park. And the show will begin at 4 p.m. and conclude about 5:30. So we'd love to invite the community to come out, our council members, if they can join us. It'll be a lot of fun. We got about 30 young kids that are going to show off their talents in dance and everything that they do. So we just want to invite you out to that. And Baloo will say, bare necessities is all that's needed. That's about all we're surviving on these days, right? So thank you very much, everybody. We hope you can come out and see our show.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Very
Thank
good.
you,
Very
Suda.
good. All right. Well, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Is there anybody else on this side of the room? Seeing that there's not, at this time I'll close the citizens open forum. We'll go right to item number 12 that we moved up earlier when we suspended the rules, which is, I shall read, discuss BMX repairs, which is under the city manager. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, at the time I had to prepare the agenda item, which was accelerated a little bit by the holiday, wasn't able to gain a level of comfort with the contract in order to be able to make a solid recommendation. So I identified the item as a discussion for council consideration. But we had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Kokolakis this morning, and I'm very satisfied that the contract's in good shape. But a little background on where we're at. From July 21st in 2022, City Council approved the solicitation of a design build services to reconstruct the BMX track retaining wall structure in accordance with the Florida statutes 287.055 and related requirements for design build procurement. On October 6, 2020, the city received one response from J. Kokolakis Contractors, Inc. On October 23rd, the submittal was deemed responsive. Because there was only one response, Florida statute allows the city manager to negotiate with the lone bidder in an attempt to get a contract which would then be brought to council for approval. We are choosing to update on the council the process, as I mentioned, since the contract at the time I prepared the memo was not yet ready to be presented for final approval. So that's kind of where we're at. I'd be glad to answer any questions for council in the discussion. And if you're looking for a recommendation, I'm ready to make one, but I'll wait for you to ask.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Nope. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So just as a point of information, as a result kind of the holidays and the delay, and if you'll recall, originally we talked about this item was going to be to consider repairing the BMX track and change it to discussion, and part of that being some of the inability for, on a timing standpoint, to get a clear feeling for the contract, which, as our city manager has just said now. So we're not in a position to vote on this item tonight, unfortunately, okay? Now, if it is the pleasure of this council, I would not be opposed to us just kind of giving a consensus, assuming that the city manager is satisfied with the agreement and comes back with a recommendation to approve, is there a consensus to move forward? I think it would be important for some of our citizens to know where we're standing on that. Are you okay with providing that consensus
If the city, excuse me,
under the conditions that I just mentioned?
yes, and I didn't raise my hand. If the city manager's
Did you
recommendation.
just raise your hand?
That was me raising my hand.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a comedy routine later tonight. If that is the city manager's recommendation to move forward with it, then absolutely, my consensus piece of the pie would be yes to move forward with it.
Favor with, all right? Councilmember Sraki?
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate, Al, all your hard work in this project, but yes, I truly believe we need that BMX track. I think it's a great asset to our city. It brings a lot of people to our city, revenue, hotels. I really do like the BMX, yes.
Councilmembers?
Initially, I was a little bit put back on the price tag, but I spent a lot of time talking to Al and Felicia, and they answered all my questions. And he made some very good points. Al made some very good points that we are being known for kids' events, and we will get the Gator Nationals back. And the city's done a good job of saving money in order to put toward it. And when we have the lawsuit and if we win we get some of the money back. So they changed my mind, so I am for it.
Very good. And just so you know, the chair's in favor of moving forward with it as well. Look, it's not an easy decision to make. It is a lot of money. It is a lot more money than we had expected. I have a high level of confidence in the bidder, just based on their track record of work that they've done. I know that the city manager does. So I apologize. I'm so accustomed to turning around and seeing my other council member there, but I don't quite recognize him on the phone. I apologize. Councilmember Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. I would also be in support of moving forward with this initiative. I know it's been sorely missed, and I'm looking forward to having the kids back out there in the near future.
Very good, very good. And thank you, Vice Mayor, for reminding me. That's just point over there. Yeah, listen, and I want to make this very clear. You know, economic decisions for us as a city are about choices. That potentially means there might be some other choices that we have to make that are not favorable in terms of managing the finances. And so I'll put that out there just as an FYI, but I think that it's pretty clear, City Manager, that there is a consensus, provided those conditions. You come back with a recommendation and feel good about the contract, and our city attorney does as well. All right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right. With that, I'm going to move on to the Community Minute, which will be announced by our City Clerk, Ann Nixon.
Yes, I have three things tonight. Christmas Wonderland, free holidays-themed, family-friendly drive-through event with plenty of Grinch sightings and candy canes. Candy canes. Friday, December 4th, 7 to 9 at the Oldsmar Sports Complex, 7 to 9 at night. Please enter via the Curlew Road entry. Movie in the park. Get in the holiday spirit with the family classic Frozen on Friday, December 11th, 7 to 9 at Ariel's Park. Remember, maximum of 8 people per group. Bring your blankets and chairs. Golf cart parking available. And the golf cart parade. Join the golf cart enthusiasts for a decorated parade around Oldsmar on Saturday, December 12th at 6 p.m. Staging starts at Bicentennial Park, $5 fee cart, deadline Friday, December 11th. Road closures will occur along the route. Please plan your evening accordingly. For details, you can call 813-749-1155. If I remember correctly, Miss Suda's dancers, that's at night, right? Yes. Yeah, so you could spend the whole time at Bicentennial, 4 to 5, hang out, watch the show, hang out, see the golf cart. So it's a good night to be out there. That's all I have.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Next item, next area of the agenda is approval of new agenda items. We only have one new agenda item, item number 3. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Next item, awards and recognition. Item number 1, presentation of Employee Service Award. Our city manager, Mr. Alf Braithwaite.
Thank you, Mayor. We actually had 3 awards that were due to be presented today or tonight And on your screens and your video, I just wanted to quickly review the award winners. The first one was Don Jenkins, who's a facilities maintenance worker. There's a picture of him when he was young in leisure services. Today, or November 21st specifically, was his 15-year anniversary, and he wasn't available to be rewarded today. We may revisit that at a future meeting if he'd like to. This morning in City Hall lobby, we did award a 25-year service award to Johnny Woods, who's a utilities maintenance mechanic in Public Works in the Utilities Maintenance Division. There's a picture of Johnny, and there's a picture of the ceremony this morning. And we had a good little ceremony this morning, which was made even better by the mayor's breakfast goodies, which worked well for us. And the third award, which I'd like to present today for 20 years. Couldn't get far away from her before she realized that we posted that picture.
Great.
And as most of you know, this is Kathy Horvath. Kathy, you want to come up? Steve, you want to join her? I'm just kidding. Mama gets the money. Congratulations. Congratulations. If I don't drop this. Oh, yeah, by the way, John dropped his today.
Yeah.
Didn't he? I turned around. He was on the floor. Congratulations. All right. As you know, I have a couple things to say. Most of you know Kathy. This is her 20-year service award, which technically would be December 18th of year 2020. She was hired as an assistant city clerk, promoted to deputy city clerk on October 1st, 2012. And I'm going to say, was that upon her reaching certification as a certified clerk? Some of you may or may not realize that the assistant to deputy thing exists in the clerk's office, exists in many managers' offices. The deputy is a bigger title, means she retains the same certification and could perform any of the functions that Ann functions. And you see her designation is on her sign, CMC, there it is. So congratulations for that. I go through their files, as you know, and I found 12 commendations in Kathy's file, but I'm sure I didn't catch them all because she gets hundreds of compliments about her each and every day, and that really kind of makes me ill. Oh, sorry, I didn't say that, did I? I'm kidding. Everybody loves her. She is a certified municipal clerk. She's also a member of the Florida, well, let's see if you can guess it, the FRMA. Remember what that is? Oh, okay. Nobody else did. Yeah, there was, the paper in the file was getting so yellow, I thought it was so old, that I wasn't sure the organization existed anymore. But there she is, Florida Records Management Association. She was the interim city clerk before we found Ann. She decided not to seek the permanent job because she loved her current position so much. How many people have the guts to turn down a promotion? And how else would we have ever found the best clerk in the world? I better get points for that. She was hired by Lisa Lean, who was one of our former clerks. Kathy's job responsibilities, which are kind of lengthy and amazing. Election qualifications responsibilities, records management, storage, imaging, meeting minutes and agendas, advisory board agendas, lien processing. She assists in the election process, candidate packets, petition cards. She coordinates and plans and executes the Citizens Academy. She organizes, verifies agreements, contracts, resolutions, and ordinances. She's one of the public information officers in our emergency operations org chart. She's involved in board member recruitment. She's involved as a Relay for Life team member. She makes all of those beautiful baskets, which if you haven't been in the second floor of City Hall, you may never have seen. Is there still time to get tickets? Still time to get tickets. And if you see those baskets, you'll want to have one. From planning to acquiring the goodies to the presentation. She totally plans and executes the annual volunteer appreciation banquet. Okay, she may have had a little time off this year, but I'm sure we're going to get to another one. She coordinates the Citizens Academy alumni event. She coordinates and plans all ceremonies with Ann. And oh yeah, in case you need her, she's a notary public. I generally am so bad with most things technical that if I need to go find something, I basically call Kathy and in 5 minutes I have it. So she's a wonderful resource for me to helps my day immensely every day. Achievement and awards, just a few. She was the Brunson Schreckengost Award winner in 2020 in the first quarter. She was the Brunson Schreckengost Award winner in 2013 in the second quarter. She was nominated for the City Manager's Impact Award in December of 2017. She was nominated for the City Manager's Award in the first quarter of 2011. She received the Brunson Schreckengost Award in the first quarter of 2009. And she served on the Employee Grievance Board in 2006 and 2007, which probably is longer than that. I mention that because that's a real sign when you're elected to be there. That's a sign that all of your fellow employees have a lot of confidence in you. So I consider that, from the employee standpoint, to be a real honor and a sign that her fellow employees feel that way about her. I reviewed all of her 20 evaluations and only saw one mark in all of her evaluations that wasn't the absolute highest it could be. And in our standard evaluations now, they're a lot more specific than they used to be. There's about 50 questions in 10 categories. So what that means is she got an excellent, or the highest grade you can get in 10 years of doing the new evaluation form in, what's the math, 499 categories out of 500. Pretty freaky. All right.
What was the one category? I
was going to say, believe it or not, it was safety.
What?
How is that possible? Well, no, here's what we were taught. We used to be taught, now I'm not saying Ann is the one that evaluates her, but we used to be taught that you don't generally start somebody with all excellence because there's nowhere to go but down. And I'm thinking, okay, this is Ann's version of, well, she can't be totally perfect. So she gave her like one grade that wasn't the absolute highest you could possibly have. But it's legit, trust me. Okay, things from her file. These are kind of quotes that I usually like to say, that things I like to see in evaluations. And she's got a bunch of them, but these are the coolest ones. Always steps up, can-do attitude. Knowledge of city history is very helpful. That's a big one. Her work ethic is unsurpassed. Tremendous community insight. Several times it was mentioned that her knowledge of history in the city and her love for the community has even go so far as to resolve some troubles in terms of communication between City Hall and customers or departments and other departments. That's a fabulous evaluation comment. I think it's very accurate. She's extremely reliable, complete and thorough. She keeps cohesiveness in relationships between the community and the city. She provides depth and commitment to the clerk's office. Her spirit is motivating and inspiring to all those around her. Those are things that were all said in her file. I absolutely believe them to be true, but they're really cool. Okay, fun facts, maybe not so much fun. Kathy, you are originally from Galion, Ohio? All right, that's fun. She actually worked in West Germany in your career for Siemens? My college roommate worked for Siemens in Boca I think it was after you guys were in Boca, but I was going to ask you, but it was late. Now a grandma. Two. All right. She lives in Oldsmar.
Yeah.
She lives here. Love that. Her middle name is? Sorry, Jean. That's no big deal, but my wife's middle name is Jean, so that was fun to me. She was referred to us by former council member Ed Manny, rest in peace. Thank you, sir. That was a great move, and she cries a lot. Anyway, Kath, congratulations on your 20 years of service. There are 20 years of great service, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do with the next 20.
Oh, thank you.
She's gonna cry.
I'm not going to cry. I'm very happy. I just want to thank you all for making my job so pleasant and so fun. And it's been a great 20 years. It's gone by really, really fast. We have a great team in the clerk's office. I know I say that every time I'm up here, but I just can't express that enough. It's fun to come to work every day, and that's awesome. I started on December 18th, and I had come from the state of Florida, where you'd think, oh, that's a great job, but I was a temporary employee for 10 years and had no benefits, no vacation time, no sick time, no holiday time. So here I am the week before Christmas, starting this great job. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day off, New Year's Day off, Martin Luther King off, President's Day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've gone to heaven. This is great. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Aw.
That's good.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, next item on the agenda is the Council Manager Award of Recognition, which is being presented by me. So I went ahead and came down here. This award is not a surprise to go to these folks for all the great things they've been doing. I'm gonna call Hector and Suda up here right away. Just give them a round of applause. They're the ones who do it. So let me give you a little background. I mean, I'm going to break it down by individual. All right, Suda, she is a board member and president of the Oldsmar Cultural. Wow, that was hard. Cultural Arts Foundation. I still didn't say it right, but I'm skipping over it. All right, vice chair of Leisure Services Board, current president of the Oldsmar Friends of the Arts. A whole lot of other stuff I'm not going to go over because I'm going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, so I'm not because. And then Hector, he volunteers with the city events. He also volunteers at the chamber events. I mean, the guy is everywhere. Some of you may not know this, but he also does sound tech for many of the city events, including Veterans Day, Memorial Day, the recitals, the theater performances, and part of the reason why I recognize the two of them, because they're a team. And the impact that they have as a team is really something special. I really believe that. And collectively, they're doing photography at city events, the recital shows. They put together the production. They're a production team, right? And I always admire the fact, I'll come by on the golf cart sometimes, and they're out there building sets for the next project that's upcoming and the next dance, or they're working on parade floats, scenery, and all kinds of other stuff together. But, you know, for our city, everybody who knows the city, who's been around for a long time, they all marvel at the way we grow and how we have grown as a city, and talking about the arts and how we've grown, and there's different parts of the arts, right? And I say this a lot of times when I'm with them, and I appreciate this as mayor and as a council member. Not every child has an interest in sports, right? And we have to have that outlet for them. And that's to provide them in a positive environment and do something after school that they can look forward to. And yeah, we might even have some that experience that and then go on into the arts. You know, maybe we have the next famous actor coming from Oldsmar, right? Or the dancer who's on Broadway. And frankly, without these two, that opportunity wouldn't really happen. Now think about that for a moment. And they do it over and over again. And the city manager and the assistant city manager and I were talking the other day about the most recent performance. I was out at Orioles Park, and you know, I guess it's true, the show must go on because you found a way to make the show go on. You were the first ones to really kind of embrace that social distancing and make it work. And we were comparing it to the last show. And the difference even in the kids in that short amount of time, how much they've grown. And their confidence, and even the way they carried themselves. And that's important. I mean, that's like a really important thing for a city to have. And without these two, I really believe we wouldn't have it. And it's that individual acts and sacrifice that makes Oldsmar more than a city, it makes us a community. So thank you to both of you. Congratulations.
Yes.
Oh, get a formal here too. The photographers are ready. Do the photographers first.
Do any mask off for the picture?
While he's doing that, we're honored, very honored. We love our community, we love our city. It's, like I always say, we love what we do and we do what we love. And we're honored to be recognized for that. Going into, yes, actually I have 3 second-generation dancers with me this year. Makes me feel good and old at the same time. And we have had dancers like Mr. Zach that are going on to future careers in dance. And the theater that we're growing very quickly in a very short time. As he was mentioning, there was 570 in our audience for the show for Aladdin. And our theaters in 30 years have never seen that kind of crowds. So we're very honored to be a part of it. And yes, it is teamwork, and I'm very blessed. When I first met this man, I was doing a show, Mary Poppins, and actually we were doing Shrek at the time. And he came in and started running lights and sound and video equipment for me and everything. And I said, sign him up. I signed him up for a lifetime. Thank you.
Well, all I have to say that it's an honor to serve the community, and also to be a team player with this wonderful woman that gives so much to the community. And it is my honor to be a part of all this. And on my personal belief, and it's like without the arts, without dancing, without acting, without expressing yourself as an individual, from the kids' standpoint, it is the best way to create a foundation for a healthy life. And I'm all for that. So whatever she needs, whatever sets she wants me to build, whatever many speakers I had to fix and put on the set, and whatever lights, I will keep doing that because it's my commitment, not just to her, for the community, because I want to thank the city for supporting this, but also it's for the future. It's for the kids growing up. It's not about video games. It's not about baseball and basketball. We need arts in our lives because that's culture. And I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
I thought we were all going to cry.
We are all going to cry. Somebody's going to give us a captain. The photographers cannot also be out front. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Got blurry on me. Oh, there it is. All right. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. All right. Next item on the agenda is Community Redevelopment Agency. Item number 3, adopt resolution 2020-41, requesting that the countywide plan map designation be amended to increase the density of transit accommodations from 80 to 101 units per acre for the parcel of land located at the property located at the southwest corner of State Road 584, Tampa Road, and Washington Avenue. And I've asked the city manager to provide a little bit of background on it.
Mayor, this is just an attempt on the city's part to increase the density of a property in anticipation of future development. It's largely procedural, and I'd like to read the resolution by title only. Resolution 2020-41, a resolution requesting that the countywide plan map designation, which is activity center within the city of Oldsmar, be amended to increase the density of transient accommodations from 80 to 101 units per acre on the parcel of real property located at the southwest corner of State Road 584, also known as Tampa Road, and Washington Avenue, as provided for in the Town Center Commercial Residential District, TCCR, and as shown on the attachment A, and providing for an effective date. Mayor, that concludes the reading of Resolution 2020-41.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion? As you all might recall, we've actually already
talked about
considered this, but this is moving it down to really kind of map up with the county. All right, any other discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. Next item on the agenda is consent docket, which will be announced by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Item number 4, accept forfeiture of Tom Brown as board member of Leisure Services Advisory Board. Item number 5, approve payment to legal counsel for November 2020 legal services. Item number 6, approve minutes of the October 29, 2020 work session. Item number 7, approve minutes of the November 17, 2020 city council meeting.
Excellent. Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything from the consent docket?
I would, because I'd like one change on the minutes, please.
What item would you like pulled?
The item number 7.
Item 7, okay. Anybody like anything else pulled? All right, the chair will entertain a motion to accept items 4, 5, and 6.
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a
Second.
second? A motion and a second. Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, Councilmember Norris.
I just wanted to ask the city clerk, I know that she can't put in everything that we say word for word, but in the council comments, when I was talking about, Al helping me that night and you helping me that night, she wrote down, she wrote down in there that, I was freaking out, but I did talk about water being on 3 sides of my home and waves hitting my house. So I'd kind of like it to reflect that that's why I wasn't just freaking out.
Oh,
I wasn't just freaking out over a tropical storm. I actually had water on 3 sides of my house and waves hitting my house. I've spoken to Ann about it already. I know it's kind of minor, but I'd kind of like the record to reflect that.
okay.
Please,
Would you
ma'am.
like the minutes to reflect that or tonight's record to reflect that?
The minutes,
The minutes?
yes, please.
So you're
So I'm proposing to approve them with the amendment of after just adding in there that due to water being on 3 sides of my home and waves hitting the back of my house, that addition.
But point of order, and that is, did you say that night?
I did.
Okay, very good.
I even said I needed,
All right, so-
I even said I needed a moat.
Needed a mode. All right, so the specific language that you would like to see added to the November 17, 2020 committee?
Is after hold on, let me find it. So after, especially Braithwaite, who calmed her down, after that, it could just be a comma, as my home was surrounded by on 3 sides by water and waves were hitting the back wall of my home.
Very good. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of November 17, 2020 as amended.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item number 8, City of Oldsmar. Approve the appointment of Devin Stratland Duncan as ex officio teen member of the Leisure Services Board. Man, you are a busy guy. Come on up, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are
So, we're good. We're good. So how's the planning board going?
Not really.
No?
Both of the meetings have been canceled so far.
Ever since you joined it, they started canceling.
I know, I have bad luck.
I hope you're not going to do this to the Leisure Services Board, because we
I
got to get
might.
some business done around here, all right?
I'm sorry. I try.
You're trying. You're trying. So tell us why you want to be on the Leisure Services Advisory Board.
It's another way to help out the city, and I like helping out the city. I'm interested in the arts, a lot. I'm actually planning on a college at film school. And another lesser reason is because I like the show Parks and Recreation.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of truth to that based on some of our recent directors. We think there's probably a pretty accurate picture, so,
Sounds fun.
yeah. All right. Any other questions?
Just thank you.
Volunteering your time.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm not going to make you sing or dance again because.
Da-da-da-da-da.
All right. Very good. All right. Well, at this time, the chair will entertain a
So
motion to
moved.
approve. I have a
So
motion
moved.
and I have a second. Any further discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye. All opposed. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. That's it. You are hired. All right. Next item on the agenda, city attorney, item number 9.
Thank you. This is the public hearing on ordinance 2020-18. I'll read that by title only. Ordinance 2020-18, an ordinance of the city of Oldsmar, Florida, amending section 3.15.1 of the Land Development Code to provide that a property owner may not apply for a zoning amendment on property if it has been acted upon by the city council within the preceding 12 months, and providing for an effective date. That was the second final reading of ordinance 2020-18 by title only. There have been no changes since the prior meeting.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing.
Does anyone wish to speak?
This is a public hearing. Is the, there's not an applicant, is there?
City is the applicant.
Okay. City manager.
No, sir.
All right. Any presentation from staff? No? Anybody from the public wishes to speak on this matter? No? I'll close the public hearing. The chair will entertain a motion to approve. I got a motion.
Second.
And I have a second. Any comments? Vice Mayor, I see you giggling over there.
Love that procedure.
Thank you.
You handled it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Norris? Yes. Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Hannan?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-18, amending Oldsmar Land Development Code to provide that a property owner may not apply for a zoning amendment on property if it has been acted upon by city council within the preceding 12 months, is adopted with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a cheat sheet. You're the last.
I lost my cheat sheet.
I put it right here.
I'm looking for it. I'm like,
You're the one
where?
that needs it.
You did, though.
But there was no applicant, so other than us, so it changed the requirements quite a bit. All right. City attorney, anything else for us this evening?
No, sir.
Thank you. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 10 is request council approval to authorize the city manager to execute a 1-year extension to the interlocal agreement with Pinellas County for the maintenance of Forest Lakes Boulevard. In November of 2015, the city entered into an interlocal agreement with Pinellas County to perform landscape maintenance along the right-of-way and around 2 stormwater ponds on Forest Lakes Boulevard from Racetrack Road to Tampa Road. The term of the agreement was for 5 years and included mowing, edging, pruning, mulching, weeding, the removal of litter, and other maintenance tasks. In return for performing the landscape maintenance functions along Forest Lakes Boulevard, the city was paid $41,089.12 annually by the county after being invoiced quarterly for the services rendered. Both the city and county wish to extend the agreement for 1 additional year through November 2021 with a 3% increase in payment to the city equaling $42,321.79. Over the next year, following the completion of the construction of the roadway, the city and county will reassess the landscape maintenance needs of the right-of-way and ponds, and will discuss the consideration of a new interlocal agreement at that time. The agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney, and staff recommends approval.
Okay. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
I remember when we did this.
Yep, I think it's great.
Yeah. All right, since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, Councilmember Knapp?
I just wanted to follow up with the city manager to see if he had gotten any update as far as the expected completion date of the project.
I do not. Nan, do we know anything more than we did?
Nan Bennett, Public Works Director. The last official update was May 2021 for completion. However, they continue to find more unsuitable materials. They haven't requested any additional time. Right now, the official finish date is May 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 11.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 11 is request council approval for an agreement of the use of our recreation facilities with Oldsmar Little League Incorporated. City of Oldsmar partners with youth sports organizations to provide recreation-based sports activities at the Oldsmar Sports Complex. This item recommends the approval of an agreement that utilizes the baseball and softball fields, specifically numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, located in the Phase 1 portion of the complex. The agreement reflects a field allocation that considers the number of players served by the organization, and based on their needs and goals, Oldsmar Little League Incorporated is allocate field space Monday through Friday from 5:30 to 11 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. This allocation does not include Sundays or when the fields are closed for maintenance. The league will be responsible to reimburse the city for 50% of the electricity cost for the concession stand year-round and $10 per hour per field for ball field lights whenever used by the league. The agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney and staff recommends approval.
Excellent. Chair will entertain a motion to approve. I have a
Second.
motion and a second. Discussion? Any questions? Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I was sad but expected to see a new provision in the agreement due to COVID-19, but hopefully kids and families and volunteers are all staying safe out there on the fields and in the dugouts, more specifically.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, Councilmember Knapp, anything?
No, Mayor.
Okay, excellent. Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Anything else, sir?
No, sir, that's it.
All right, City Clerk, item 13.
13, approve the list of external organizations as presented to use the city seal for calendar year 2020. Florida statute states the manufacture, use, display, or other employment or any facility or reproduction of the municipal seal, except by municipal officers in the performance of their official duties, without express approval of the governing body, is a misdemeanor. The following organizations request or are likely to request approval to use the city for the 2020 calendar year. There's a fairly extensive list. Includes the Community Quarter e-blast for promotion of city events using a graphic provided by the city. Organizations we sponsor, support, partner with, or have use agreements, and staff recommends approval.
Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Anything else? City
That's
Clerk?
all I have.
Very good. All right. City Council, next item on the agenda, item 14, discuss changing mayor and council member terms from 3 years to 4 years. Councilmember Saraki requested this item be put on the agenda, and so I'm going to defer to him.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. I just wanted to give some, routine facts of what has happened to me as a council member. When I first became a council member, there's a lot for me to learn. I wasn't really planning on, going to win, but I did, and I'm here. But the main thing is, I think 4 years would be helpful for a new elected official to learn more about our city, number one. Number two, it would save the city clerk and the city costs, because it would be, instead of every 3 years, it'd be 4 years. And another thing would happen was, I truly feel that this year, when I ran for the Florida League of Cities first VP, if I would have had an extra year as a council member, I think I could have been able to run for the second VP, which I really truly feel that I would have had a better opportunity as a city council member to become that elected position. So those are some of the other items. Another item is the PSTA board that, Mayor, I love the PSTA and I'm thankful for you to do that. But I also feel that that would give a city council member on our board extra time to be on that particular board and be able to learn more as a city council member for 4 years. Now, there are some other cities like Clearwater, Dunedin, Largo, St. Petersburg, and South Pasadena's just changed their charter for 4 years from 3 to 4. And I noticed that Ann also mentioned that they're talking with Tom, the city attorney, plan to request the city council authorize establishing a charter review committee in January, and they might add that to the agenda. And I feel that it's just something that we should consider and talk about. Not saying we should do it, but I do feel that in particular my situation, it would have helped me long term.
Well, let me ask you, because you added to the agenda, are you speaking in favor of such a change?
I am speaking a favor of such a change, and I'm not trying to convince any other council members to make that decision. But from my experience here, sitting here as a council member, I think it would have been important if it would have been
Beneficial.
an advantage for me if I would have had that extra year in there for my 2 terms. So it's just something to consider. And like I said, the other thing is cost. We have to do election and cost the city money every 3 years. Instead, we do it 4 years. And some city council members might want to do this for 4 years. For me, I love city council, so I would want to do it.
Comments? Councilmember Knapp, any comments?
I'm sort of was indifferent initially either way, but I do see some of the benefits that Councilmember Saraki has mentioned. I can see the merits there. I'm not sure what a detractor would be, because, you know, we all do this because we love it. So I don't think that is a detractor at all of having the commitment of an extra year per term. So I would be in favor of exploring it.
Okay, all right. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I was a bit indifferent when the issue was first brought up. The part that resonates a little bit with me is the learning curve issue. You know, how you're elected to council and you suddenly realize that it was not what you thought it was.
Exactly.
and you learn quickly. Within a couple of months, what council really is all about. I know that some of the larger cities have 4-year terms because, you know, for Clearwater and Dunedin, Largo, they're exponentially larger than our city. And so there is a lot to learn. And so when you have frequent turnover on the council or with the mayor's position, you can end up in a situation where you're always transitioning a lot and you're not moving the agenda forward, I guess, is the part that kind of resonates with me. Personally, I think 3 years is sufficient. I'm not necessarily in favor of changing our charter to make it 4 years. I think there's a possibility that it could result in slightly reduced participation. 4 years is a big commitment. 3 years is a big commitment, but 4 is even more. I absolutely love being on council, but then again, there might be someone who's elected and doesn't want to necessarily do it for that long. And then I also am in favor of the reasonable level of turnover that we have here in Oldsmar, such that we're always stable moving forward, but always get fresh ideas and fresh faces in the staggered terms that we have, you know, seats 1 and 3, and then 2, 4, and the mayor, so that we always have some continuity and some mentorship happening. I didn't think that the learning curve for our city and service on our city council is necessarily so large that it merits an additional year. I think that had this come to me as more of a citizen concern, or maybe if a charter review committee says, you know, listen, we're seeing, you know, a little bit of instability on the council. We don't see consistency in leadership, and, you know, maybe we should have folks, you know, serve longer terms. That might have been different, but the way it kind of came before us as something that was a little more specific to Councilmember Saraki's experience was kind of indicative to me that perhaps it's not like a catch-all, like a fix-all for every possible scenario. Councilmember Saraki, though, does make an excellent point, and he has been exemplary in his service to our community, to the PSTA board, to the Suncoast League of Cities, to multiple boards. But that's where I'm at.
Okay. Councilmember Norris.
I am in favor of the Charter Review Committee taking a look at it. When I had requested Ann to send me the list of cities that had 4-year terms, 2-year terms, and 3-year terms, and it is 3 cities, there's 5 cities and 4 of them that have much larger populations than we do, with the exception of South Pasadena, but South Pasadena doesn't have a city manager. So the council runs the city departments. But your points of, everything that you said about the PTST and National League of Cities and everything, I do, that gives me a little bit more to think about. I think that you could run for 2 years as your seat and then 2 years as mayor, so you could potentially serve for 16 years. And I kind of like the sound of.
Sorry, did I just laugh out loud?
Well, it's possible. Not 16. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. 1, 2, 6, and 12.
8 and 8.
Yeah, it's 12 now. That would be 16. So I kind of like the idea of maybe you running for mayor there, Dan. After you're done, Eric, of course, Mayor Seidel.
Thank you.
After you're done, please don't run against him, please.
Mayor, before you go.
So I think that it's a good idea to have the Charter Review Committee take a look at it and further look into it.
Councilman Scragg, I'll let you go back one more time.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you go, I just wanted to all the council members, Linda, Andrew, and Katie, you all have great points. But just for me, I just wanted to explain my reasoning why, and it really doesn't matter what we decide to do as a team, but I just wanted to bring that to the table because I feel that the future generations of council members that get on this board that want to be involved in the Florida League of Cities or any other type of board, it would be beneficial to our city for them to be on for a 4-year term. That's the only reason why. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'll also thank Councilmember Norris for requesting that listing
Yes.
of, we all received a summary essentially of the cities in the county that the clerk's office put together for us, showing who had 3-year terms, 4-year terms. The one thing that should be noted, it'd be interesting to see out of those cities who don't have term limits.
Right.
Oh, that's a
So
good question.
that changes it. Like, for example, if there's a 3-year term, but they have no term limits, that's a different animal,
That's a
right?
good question.
And so, but I'll share my thoughts on it. I think it's fine to go to the Charter Review Committee. We need to have a Charter Review Committee anyhow, and it's certainly a subject that they should take a look at. And but I have a different perspective on it, I think, a little bit. If you're running and you have something material that you want to see get done, and I'm talking about downtown and that kind of thing, but something that is not anything that can be done in a flash and that has to be fully vetted and has to go through a process, and that, this is something that's going to evergreen and it's going to last way beyond all of us. It's hard to do it in 3 years.
That's true.
There you go.
Very difficult to do it and do it wisely in 3 years. I'm an aggressive guy by nature. The city manager will share many of our pleasant conversations about timing and that kind of stuff. But, you recognize being on council. I think if there's one thing that anybody who's on council, who I think is really worth their salt, let me say that. Especially if you're coming out of a business community, you begin to appreciate why government moves slow. It doesn't move slow because it's not efficient. It moves slow because of transparency. So that no funny business can go on. You can't just propose something, it passes, and boom, then people read about it the next day. It's important. It's important that it's discussed. Then it's on the agenda, and maybe it has to be voted on twice. And though that process is an appreciation you learn. Now, listen, I've been on and off council since 2007. That's when I very first got on council. I will tell you, it is hard to learn those things. Now, I think that if there were 4-year terms, that you might have people who don't run for reelection. So I don't necessarily agree that going from a 3-year term to a 4-year term ensures that somebody's going to be on there for 8 years. I think there might be a lot of people who say once enough, because 3 years is kind of short. There's almost like this assumption from everybody that you're going to run for reelection when you run for a 3-year term. And, you know, I don't know that that's always the way it should be, you know, but it is hard to get things done that are important in 3 years. And I will tell you, as mayor, our team has changed quite a bit from where we started, right? I mean, it's changed quite a bit. And so that original team shuffling faster when you're working on something big, that's hard because people come in and they have a different direction a little bit, which is their absolute right to. That's why they run, and they talk about it on the campaign trail, and people get to hear it. They like what they hear, and maybe that's what they want. But from a leadership standpoint, it does become difficult to manage when you're working on something that is meaningful, that is really huge. So, you know, I agree. I think maybe it is appropriate that we have the Charter Review Committee look at it. I'm going to tell you, though, that just my opinion and my experience, the Charter Review Committee will not likely recommend it. And the reason I believe that is the last time and the closest that we've ever had this discussion on a referendum basis was when we discussed changing term limits. Right? That was back in 2004, and that failed. 66% voted against it, and passionately, right? And so I think it's difficult, unless you've been on council, to understand why there might be value in it for the city long term. You know, there is value in it long term. There's certainly downside. You know, you run the risk of not getting fresh ideas and all that, but I think it's a discussion that's worthy of having. And, you know, maybe it's staff made a suggestion that maybe we make a recommendation authorizing the city attorney to prepare a resolution establishing a charter review committee, which we need to do anyhow. But we don't require this to come from a charter review committee. We have the ability as a council to approve an item for a referendum, because it would go to the people, right? And so I'm not asking for that in the way of a motion. If the Councilmember Saraki wishes to do so, I would respect that. But the other side of it, maybe it's a conversation that we go out and have with some people and see what the feedback is. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I would actually support it. Only just because I know how difficult it is to get things done in a timely basis with the players changing so often. And I think that's part of the reason we don't have a downtown, if you want to know the truth.
Second that.
Well, I think COVID kind of gave you a
Oh,
little
yeah,
elbow, gave you a little elbow there.
There's
Mayor.
no question, and listen, there's no question in currently what we're talking about, the pause button that COVID gave
No, I
everybody.
got your point.
But in any event, so if someone would like to make a motion as it relates to authorizing the city attorney to prepare a resolution establishing a charter review committee, the chair will entertain it if you'd like. If you don't
I'll
want to.
make that motion too.
There's- all right,
I
we
think
have
a
a-
charter review committee is a good idea.
All right, well, go ahead and
I make the motion.
make that
for
motion.
this.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, I don't think there's any other discussion on that item, but I appreciate Councilman Member Saraki bringing it up. All right, item 15, reconsider cancellation of the December 15th City Council meeting. This was an item that I added to the agenda. I added it to the agenda specifically because some of the development possibilities and projects that we have in different states of progress. But after speaking with both the city attorney and assistant city attorney, I don't know that we have any one of those projects.
You
What's
mean the
that?
city manager and assistant city manager?
I just promoted somebody, or demoted them, depending on which you want to say.
Promoted.
Yeah. All right, after talking to the assistant city manager and the city manager, I don't believe that we have any project right now that would be hurt or that's at a time-sensitive place where it would require us having the December 15th meeting. And so I'm not, unless somebody wants to make a motion to reconsider, I'm not going to entertain one. So does anybody like to make that motion?
You're funny.
No, Mayor, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, item 16, approve the tentative agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to pull anything from the tentative agenda?
Oh, looks good.
Looks great, great agenda. All right, well, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the
So
tentative
moved.
agenda. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item 17, council comments. I'm going to start with Councilmember Norris.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I want to say happy birthday to our Citizen of the Year, Sandy Grimes. And also get well soon there, Andrew, Nicole, and LJ. We miss you. There's a couple things. Well, I want to end off on a really positive note, but I do want, since we are not going to have the last meeting, I do want to make a few comments about the holidays and people, and it's traditional that mental health issues increase, suicides, depression, everything increases during the holidays. I just want to let everybody know that the help is just a phone call away. It is a phone call away. There's hotlines, there's meetings, there's so many different organizations that you can call. You don't have to be alone in your suffering. And so I just wanted to put it out there, because traditionally everything rises, not with COVID at all. And so now with the holidays and with COVID, I just hope that everybody realizes that there's help out there. So I wanted to put that out there. I definitely want to talk about the arts a little bit, because I met Suda and Hector when I first came on council, when Jim Roniker was the mayor. Remember, Eric?
Sure.
Mayor, I'm sorry. And we got that first round of funding, and council after council, so to the point there, many different changes of the council did not approve the art project. But Suda and Hector still worked, and I met them on the Leisure Services Board. And so to see them getting an award, to see you talking about art and culture, to see Devin coming up and stepping up and being in the arts, it just really warms my heart that this city is becoming so much more well-rounded when it comes to that. And the point that not all kids want to go into sports. I did sports in high school, but my heart was in the theater and in the arts. That's where I really came to my own. And so I just love hearing all of this art and culture. And of course, our new art installation that we will be officially having our ribbon cutting next week. And the artist, Don Gianelli, he will be there. And it will be socially distant, so people can come if they want, right, Felicia? Because we'll all be socially distant. So it'll be next week, December 8th at 11 o'clock, and they're absolutely beautiful. So that I'm just so happy right now. And the last thing I wanted to say is the VFW and the VFW Auxiliary, we are doing a sock drive, okay? So we put it out there to veterans and hospitals and what is needed the most. And believe it or not, the number one item that came up was socks, ankle socks, like crew socks. So we want to put a box so that people could put socks in it. And Anne had suggested possibly we could ask if we could put it at the library. I don't know if that's a possibility, but we can, I'll put it out. Is that okay, Felicia? Do you think that we could put a collection box at the library? Or would I ask Susan that?
Probably something you want to do, not from the dais, but,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Okay, well,
But,
once we get the box somewhere, if people want to donate socks for the veterans, that would be nice.
I think it's a good idea.
And everybody have a wonderful holidays, and see you next year.
There you go. Councilmember Saraki.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I really don't have a lot. I just want to say congratulations to Kathy, 20 years. Just so you know, in that picture of you, you look the same. You look great. The Christmas tree lighting today, the virtual Christmas tree lighting, I thought we all did a great job. I really enjoyed that. And Friday's the big day, Christmas Wonderland. Santa's coming to town. I love Santa. Can't wait to see Santa. So
have you been a good boy?
I've been a good boy.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
And I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. And I hope you guys have a blessed family tradition and have fun with everybody and just happy holidays. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Excellent. Councilmember Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I wanted to thank Ann, the city clerk, for dropping the agenda packet on my porch. I really appreciate that. Helped me get through the meeting tonight. Congrats again to Suda and Hector and Kathy and the rest of the city staff on receiving your awards tonight. I wish I could have been there to see all your faces. You definitely deserve all the recognition. I also wanted to just thank council for allowing me to, again, to call in tonight. Bummed I couldn't be there, but I'm sure it was the right thing to do, given how I still feel right now. But I'm looking forward to being back with the team coming in January. And finally, just wanted to say that we've reached December 2020. Hopefully it is the best month of 2020. And I'm sure everybody's ready to put this year in the rearview mirror. So with that, just want to wish everyone happy holidays. And really looking forward to kicking off 2021 on the right foot. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to wish some congratulations to all of our Employee Service Award recipients. It always stuns me when I see someone on that screen with their picture from 25 years ago. 'Cause it doesn't happen. It just doesn't. People don't stay at jobs nowadays for 25 years. That is huge. The loyalty and commitment speaks volumes of our leadership and of the way our city staff works together. I just think that's so fantastic. And honestly, it saves the city time and money and efficiencies because everybody has worked together so long. It's like unspoken. I just find that absolutely fantastic and astounding. Awesome virtual tree lighting ceremony tonight. Well done, Mr. Mayor, on emceeing the event. Was happy to see our House Representative Tracy Coster there and to see Katie sing. Oh my gosh, that woman's voice. Katie Ducharme, she is fantastic. I'm so grateful that she shows up at our various events and she doesn't get enough recognition for it. I wanted to thank our local businesses in the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber for making the modified Mayor's Breakfast a big success this morning. Really appreciate, our big, the ones that are always there, Microlumen and Nielsen and everybody who always shows up and shows out no matter the scenario. And it's so important because, you see those bikes all stacked against each other downstairs in the chamber and now being stored at City Hall because there's so many of them. And it's a very quick and sobering reminder of how lucky we all are. And I thank all of them downstairs at the chamber for their efforts to continue to move forward with that program despite the COVID. There are so many city events going on. Thank you so much to the staff, Leisure Services staff especially, for making sure that all of the fun events that our citizens and our kids, our youngest citizens, always look forward to every year, a success. I got a phone call today, in fact, that Santa may be coming by my house in the coming weeks with
Well, we know it's for the kids.
rescue, with the rescue. And that's such a cool tradition. It's a really big deal, and it matters. It matters to me as a parent, and I know it matters to my kids. That the city just continues to provide unbelievable level of service, even under the most trying circumstances. Last thing, the Leadership Pinellas opening retreat is this weekend, Friday and Saturday. So I will report back. I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun event. It's at the Bellevue, the rehabilitated building over in Bel Air.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So it should be a really nice event and a dinner with the board members on Friday night. And I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Holidays to everybody. And that's it. Oh, and Andrew, I hope you guys all feel better soon.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. I do have a few items. It's almost like the vice mayor was reading my notes. I'm like checking stuff off as she's going through it. Hey, I want to make a special point of thanking the folks in the chamber, the Upper Tampa Bay Regional Chamber. You know, the mayor's breakfast is a big deal, right? And every year we put it on, as most people know, we do it in partnership with Safety Harbor, and it becomes the mayor's challenge then, and we have a lot of fun with it. And we get lots of people together, hundreds of people together, to put that event on. And what's so significant about it is, besides the fellowship part, is the money that we raise, where that money goes to. Everyone may not know this, but the money that Safety Harbor raises, they go to stays at Safety Harbor, and theirs typically is for Batty Williams. And over here, our Rotary uses the money to sponsor families and kids who would otherwise not have a Christmas. And so with, you know, the problems with COVID this year and the inability to hold such an event like that, we came up with what we could do as creative as we possibly could. And the goal was to raise enough money so that no family and none of those kids would go without. And so Mark Howe, Joe, Doug, Councilmember Saraki, Councilmember Vice Mayor Gannon, all were there helping out today. I appreciate it. Not everybody could make it. And I want to thank, you know, we sold probably about a dozen of the drive-through tickets, folks coming through, but Nielsen stepped up, Microlumen. Of course, the city was there as a sponsor as well. Management and Associates stepped in as a corporate sponsor. We had another private company in the community that stepped in. Katie stepped in. And between everybody's efforts, we raised about the same amount of money that we would have raised had we put on an event with a few hundred people.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Might be a little bit short, so if there's another online fundraiser, you know we're just trying to gap it, but we're pretty darn close to it. So even without the big event, you know, we find a way. And if there was ever a lesson that has come out of 2020, is that the will and ingenuity of our city and its people will find a way. And to Katie's point, here we are in the holidays. Is there a spike going on? Is there not a spike going on? I always look at our numbers here in the county, and our numbers are holding pretty steady, frankly. But we still all have to practice, you know, smartly and social distance and all that. And yet we find ways, we adapt. And so we still have fun events. I was very proud of the way the team did tonight and the event that got put on. It was concise. It was still entertaining. The music was wonderful. And our folks got to see it. I heard that the live stream had about 130 people, which is probably what we get out here for the event. And keep in mind, there might be multiple kids sitting around a computer of that 130. So it was a really nice job, and I just really appreciate the extra effort that everyone continues to put in and that our staff puts in to making this city great. So I'll just close by saying Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope it's a wonderful one. And just to end on a very positive note, just think the next time we meet, 2020 will be over. And so on that note, let me close by saying Happy New Year. All right, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Doesn't require a vote. We're adjourned.